Hello there, boys and girls. It's Fog. Welcome back to another episode of Fog's Rides. All right, today we're going to start and end right at this intersection here. I am on the Woodinville-Duval Road, and we are going to do what I like to call the Maltby Loop. This is a ride that I really love. So if, like me, you're coming from Redmond, the easiest way to get here is to go to the end of Avondale and turn right on Woodinville-Duval Road. If you're coming from other parts, there may be other easier ways to get on this road for you. And so what I would do is refer to you to the link below in the description. There will be a link to a Google map, as I do in all of these episodes, or at least I have so far. And you can go check out that link and see if maybe there's a better spot. For instance, maybe you want to pick it up at Maltby at 522. Maybe you want to pick it up in Duval. Maybe you want to pick it up at Monroe. I don't know. Maybe you want to take 522 up to Woodinville and then come out the Woodinville-Duval Road that way until you get to Paradise Lake. And hey there, buddy. All right. So what can I tell you about this ride? This is about a 50-minute ride, I believe. 45 minutes maybe. Yeah, my Garmin's trying to be nice and take me on a slightly twistier route. But we're going to take the easy route instead of the twisty route. Like I said, though, this is, if you obey all the speed limits, I believe this is about a 50-minute loop. And there are a lot of different variations and a little, you can take it counterclockwise like I'm doing today. You can take it clockwise. There are a couple of little cutoffs that you can take if you want to shorten it. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. The way I discovered this ride is I used to live, long time ago, I used to live out in Duval, and I worked at Microsoft. And so occasionally my commute home would take me along this road, so I was really familiar with the Woodinville-Duval Road. Now, I had always taken the Woodinville-Duval Road all the way into Duval. And coming up here in a little bit, there is a stoplight that we're going to turn at. And I had always gone straight through that stoplight into Duval. And one day I was wondering, I wonder where that road goes. And I thought, I knew where the road to the right went. The road to the right takes you over to Novelty Hill, which is, the backside of Redmond, basically. And that's a fun ride as well. A lot of people like, the last ride we did took us along that road, which is the East Snoqualmie River Road. And, the West Snoqualmie River Road. So I knew where that road went, but I didn't know where this one went. And so someday I decided I'm just going to take this road and see where it leads. And so I did just that. I just got on my bike, rode out that way, and thought, well, let me go this way and figure out where it goes. So that brings up an interesting topic. One of the really nice things about having a motorcycle is kind of the freedom that it affords you. And I found that I really enjoy riding these nice little woodsy back roads that are all over the Puget Sound. And honestly, the most fun that I have had on my bike is when I've gone somewhere where I didn't really know where it was that I was going. I didn't know where it led. And so I just get on some road that I've never been on before and just follow it and see where it leads. As you can see down there on your screen, I've got a Garmin. So if I ever get too lost, I can use the Garmin to find my way home. But, half the fun of having a motorcycle is just going out and exploring. You don't really need much in the way of a road. You got two wheels, so you don't need a wide road. You don't need a particularly fast road. In fact, the slower, more empty ones and the windy ones are way more fun on a motorcycle. So here we go. This is the stoplight I'm talking about. To the right is West Snoqualmie River Road to the right. And like I said, I know where that goes. That goes out towards Carnation Goes out towards Redmond Ridge and Novelty Hill, all those places. But I never knew what was to the left here. Now this is still West Snoqualmie Road for now, but it's going to very quickly turn into High Bridge Road. And this takes us out. This is the Snoqualmie River Valley again. That's Duval on the other side of the valley there. Over there to the right is Duval. You're looking at the Cascade Mountains. And we've got a lovely day for this ride today. Nice little kind of overcast, but kind of spotty clouds. Plenty of blue sky and plenty of sun peeking through the clouds. A little bit of dark clouds. I really wanted to take this ride today because it might be one of the last chances I have to take this ride for you guys. Our summer is winding down, and when summer decides to end in the Puget Sound, it ends relatively quickly. The nights are getting longer, the days are getting shorter, and most of this past week it has been raining very hard. This is, by the time you see this video, it'll probably be posted a few weeks after I've recorded it because I'm not in a huge hurry to edit it. But this video is being recorded Saturday before Labor Day. So this is Labor Day is usually the last hurrah of summer here in the Puget Sound. So coming up for the next few months, we can expect to see the occasional really nice day like today, but they're going to be fewer and farther between. Most of the days are going to be gray and rainy and lots of overcast and, quite frankly, not too terribly nice. So I'll probably be posting with reasonably low frequency on this channel for the next few months until spring comes again. But I'll probably post something. I don't think I'll keep it completely silent over the winter. There's plenty of nice places to go in the winter too, and every now and then we get a really nice warm day, even late fall and early spring, or even in the dead of winter sometimes, we can get some really nice days. This particular ride takes you into this farm country here along the Snoqualmie River, and this valley here can be a good 10 degrees colder than the Lake Sammamish Valley that Redmond is built around. So it's not uncommon for me to not want to ride this in the winter because it gets significantly colder. Whew! Smell those cows. Consider yourselves lucky that you're watching this on a screen. That's some pretty potent derriere there. A little potent. So that's the Snoqualmie River down there, or at least one of the little inlets, or perhaps a little disjointed lake that was created as the course of the river shifted. I'm not entirely sure which. Might be a lake. I don't know. Anyway, as you can tell, this is a really, really pretty ride. And I've come to discover, as I've ridden it quite frequently over the last couple of years, this is a favorite road of motorcyclists. So I'm not the first one to discover it, of course, which, you would expect, obviously. But I wouldn't be surprised if we pass quite a few other riders on this road because it's a really fun place to ride. So there are all these little roads that go up onto the ridge to the left. There are a whole bunch of houses up in there that when I first rode up in there exploring a while back, I was really surprised to find them all there because this seems like such a remote place. But when you think about it, it's actually not that remote at all. We're only about 20 minutes outside of Woodinville. So there's actually quite a few people that make their homes back in here and commute into Bellevue or Redmond or even Seattle. Because housing costs here are quite a bit lower than they are on the other side of the mountain in Woodinville or in Redmond. Significantly lower cost of living here. But as you can tell, on a nice road like this, you can really open it up. I'm not going to tell you how fast I've hit on this road, but it was, let's just say that it was significantly over the speed limit. And to be honest, at the moment, I am also doing significantly over the speed limit, just because apparently this is a 35-mile-an-hour limit, but nobody drives that fast on this road. That's way too slow. Okay, this is Crescent Lake Road we're about to pass. If you want to go to Monroe, you can turn right here, and that'll hook you up with the Duval-Monroe Highway, and you can take that up into Monroe. We're not doing that today. We're going to keep following the Snoqualmie up here through these twisties. It's just some beautiful, beautiful country here. So we've got the farmland down there in the valley. We've got all the trees up here on the left. At one point, this was logging country, but that's long, long past. Long past. These days, nobody's logging here. A little bit of gravel. I want to be a little more careful. Get down in a lower gear. Gravel kind of took me by surprise. Usually there is not gravel on this road. Usually this road is quite clean and well maintained. Somebody must have spilled something there. There is often a little bit of road construction on this road, but usually no gravel. So anyway, have to be careful. You have to be careful always when you're on a motorcycle, of course. So, actually, speaking of, maybe we should talk about gear. So, I've already told you the bike I'm riding is a Kawasaki Concours. Beautiful bike. I love this bike. Cannot tell you how much I love this bike. Just a heck of a lot of fun. I'm wearing some Dinostar gloves. These are mesh gloves. These are my summer gloves. Although because this bike has heated grips, I can wear these mesh gloves well into fall. Ordinarily, I wouldn't be able to, but these grips are really well heated, and I don't know if you can tell, but you probably can tell that the rear view mirrors on this bike are absolute monsters. These rear view mirrors are as good as good on the mirrors on some of the cars I've owned over the years. They are that big. I mean, that thing is as big as my outstretched hand. Get a great view through that thing. But more importantly, having that big mirror there creates a nice wind bubble behind the mirror that keeps my hand nice and warm. So I don't really have a lot of wind problems. I pay attention to my driving here. This does get a little twisty and it's a little bit speed up and slow down, you know. So yeah, I can wear these mesh gloves all year round for the most part. I don't wear them in the coldest part of winter. And in the coldest winter, I have a set of warmer, waterproof gloves that have some nice. There's some nice gaitered gloves that cover up the opening of my jacket, so that I don't get any wind and rain inside the jacket. The jacket I'm wearing is a mesh jacket, a Tourmaster jacket. This is an all-weather mesh Tourmaster jacket. It's got several layers. It's got the outer layer is a mesh layer. Inside that, there is a waterproof layer that is removable. I have it in at the moment because we've had so much rain the last few days that I just decided to put it in and leave it there. Plus, it's getting a little colder, and that waterproof jacket acts like a really nice windbreaker. It keeps me nice and warm, even when, even down to like 50 degrees. This is a comfortable thing to wear. When it gets below about 50 degrees, I'll put in the insulating layer. There's a third insulating layer that comes with this jacket that keeps it very nice and warm in the winter. I think if I didn't also have the heated grips on this bike, I probably would want a different jacket for the winter. But, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, which is about what my normal commute is, about 30 minutes. 30 minutes on this bike, even in 35, 40 degree weather, is quite doable as long as I've got the heated grips turned up. It's really not that big of a deal. Yeah, we got the whole club out today. Like I said, this is a popular road. Nice, lonely twisties, beautiful, beautiful trees, lots of sun playing through the leaves. Oh, I love this ride. I really love this ride. And the best thing about this ride for me is it's so close to Redmond, and I'm going to go straight. You can go, no, that's Welch. Sorry, not that road. I was thinking that was a place I could turn, but not there. What was I saying? It's so close to Redmond, right? You know, I live in North Redmond, and so, you know, this is an easy ride for me to do. You know, when I'm coming home, if I come home and it's been kind of an early day, and I got an hour left, I'll come and ride around this because it's just so close to home. You know, it's fun. And sometimes, you know, if I have a later meeting in the morning, sometimes I'll come out and ride this in the morning instead of going straight to work. So coming up here, there is a turn. Actually, I think we may have just passed it. There was a turn back there that we could have taken to go back towards Highway 522. We're not going to take that. We're going to keep going out here until we get to Broadway. This is Elliott Road we're on right now. This will take us out towards Broadway, which we can take right directly into Maltby. Today I'm not wearing any chaps, but usually I wear a set of Harley chaps, Harley Davidson leather chaps. You know, I'm kind of two minds about that. Usually, if I'm going to be on anything approaching freeway speeds, I will wear those chaps because, quite frankly, I do not like road rash. And although I'm confident in my ability to ride and to stay up, you just never know. Something might happen, you know. Some guy may change a lane in front of you without signaling. Someone may not notice you're there and sideswipe you. You never know. You know, you might hit a patch of gravel like the one back there that I went over that I wasn't expecting, right? Obviously, I ride cautiously, so usually when something like that happens, it's not an issue. And, you know, certainly wasn't today. I have yet to go down on this bike. But, you know, discretion's the better part of valor. So if I'm on a freeway, I will almost always wear my chaps. On a back road like this, probably about 75% of the time I'll wear the chaps. Most of the time I will, particularly when the weather gets colder, because the chaps also add some insulation and keep me nice and warm. This is the turn that I was thinking of. What is it? Fales Road? Fox Road? Fales Road. Yeah, if you turn, at this next turn, if you turn left, this can give you a quicker way back to Highway 522, which is the highway that leads between Monroe and Woodinville. And so if you want to shorten this ride a little bit, that's a good way to do it. But we're not going to do that. We're going to go all the way to Broadway. So today I'm not wearing the chaps because I spent all day doing yard work and I didn't really want to take the time. So shame on me, but most of the time I would wear it. I do not ride without gloves, and of course I don't ever ride without a helmet, particularly in Washington State where it is illegal to ride without a helmet. Yeah, Fales Road. If you turn left, you can go up Fales Road and that'll get you to the highway a little quicker. So yeah, I mean, it's illegal to ride without a helmet in Washington State, as it is in most of the states in the western United States. The ones closer to the Rockies tend to be optional, like Utah and Idaho. I believe it's optional in Idaho. I know it's optional in Utah. But honestly, guys, you know, the comfort isn't worth the danger. It really isn't. You know, one spill without a helmet and you very easily, it doesn't take much. You don't have to be going all that fast to get a head wound that will totally ruin your day. Okay, so we got two choices here. We could go to the right or we could keep going straight. I'm going to keep going straight today. If you go to the right, you can get a slightly longer ride that'll take you out towards Broadway that way. This one will hook up to Broadway a little sooner. So we're going to go this way. And besides, I kind of like this twisty up this canyon. But like I said, riding without a helmet, even in the heat, I realize a lot of people in Utah will ride without a helmet because it's just so darn hot in the summer. And, having your head cooped up inside a plastic shell can get really, really warm really fast. But you know what? When you're at speed, you get a good helmet with good ventilation. It's not going to matter. You're not going to notice the heat all that much. And at least that's my opinion. And yes, I have lived in Utah, so those of you that say, you don't know what it's like. Well, actually, yes, I do. I've lived in Utah. I've lived in California. I've lived in plenty of places that are significantly hotter than this. So I know what you're talking about. I've lived in Rio de Janeiro. That's way hotter than this. And even there, you wouldn't catch me without a helmet. It's just not worth the risk. Even though I've never been down, still. And so let's talk about that. My helmet of choice is a full-face Shoei helmet. I really like this Shoei because it's got really good ventilation. It fits really tight on my skull. It's really comfortable, nice and snug. Cuts out a ton of the wind noise, but still, really nice helmet. Really, really nice. Very aerodynamic, despite the fact that I mounted a GoPro on it. So, yeah, it's a great helmet. I really like this helmet a lot. Oh, we got to slow way down for the bicyclist. Oh dear, that's not fun. Got to share the road, I guess. He needs to get some horsepower, though. Anyway, yeah, riding without a helmet, I think it's pretty stupid. And I prefer full face because I like to keep my teeth. Thank you very much. I have another helmet that's a flip-top helmet where you can ride, you can ride it closed face or open face, and I found that I never want to ride it anything but closed face. So when I upgraded the helmet, I just went for a full face because, because why? And the little shorty half helmets that you see a lot of the Harley riders, that just doesn't make sense to me. I've seen I had a good friend of mine. I have a good friend, a guy I work with, and he rides. And a couple of years back, he was going around a corner. It's just something really stupid. He was going around a corner at a dead end. Basically, it was at the end of a court and was turning around. And as he was coming around, looping around to do a U-turn, he hit some gravel and he low-sided. And, that was just, it could happen to anybody. And he's a fine rider. Who knows what happened? He just somehow he lost traction and down he went. He wasn't going very fast. He couldn't have been doing more than 10 or 15 miles an hour tops, if even that, because he was doing a U-turn. How fast are you going to do that, right? I don't know. Maybe he was being stupid. I don't know. I wasn't there. But either way, he wasn't going very fast. He went down. He low-sided. The bike landed on his leg, knocked his head into the pavement, scraped up the front of his helmet. If he had been wearing a half helmet, he'd have been bleeding all over the street, and that wasn't even a major crash. That was a minor deal, right? He walked with a limp for quite a while after that as his leg healed because he got trapped underneath the bike, and it messed him up pretty good. And it was just a tiny little U-turn. So I guess the message I took away from that is, you never know when something's going to happen, and it pays to be prepared so that in case it does, you're not talking about reconstructive surgery, you're not talking about a skin graft, I mean, let's face it, motorcycling is a great hobby, and 99% of the time it's perfectly safe, but that 1% can be really, really bad. When something happens, something goes wrong, something can go really wrong. And I don't care how good of a rider you are, you always have to ride with the idea that, you know, you could find yourself in a situation like that. So why not prepare for it when it's that easy to do? You know, it just makes sense. Now, you do what you want to do. Obviously, I'm not one to tell anybody how they should behave or what they should wear or what they should do. You do what you want. But I'm a big believer in being prepared. All right, these are active railway tracks. They're not very well used, but they are occasionally used, so we'll be careful going across them. All right, we are coming into Maltby. Now, for those of you that don't know Maltby, it is a tiny little community. We are upriver from Everett, where the Skykomish River, the Snoqualmie River meets up with the Skykomish River, and then it goes down to Everett and empties out in Puget Sound at Everett. Off to the right is downtown Maltby, and I'll give you a quick little look at it in a second, just as we go across. That's it. That's all there is to it right there. There is not a lot. That church, and there's a place called Maltby Cafe in Maltby. And quite frankly, the only thing of it worth mentioning at all in Maltby is the Maltby Cafe. And I'll tell you, some of the best breakfasts I've ever had in my life are at the Maltby Cafe. That place is fantastic. One of the things that I really enjoy doing, and I did this this summer, is get up at about 8 or 9 in the morning, put the wife on the back of the motorcycle, and ride out to Maltby Cafe for dinner, for breakfast, because that is just, it's so good. Oh my gosh, their breakfasts are to die for. This is Paradise Lake Road. Like I said, Paradise Lake is just this tiny little lake. There's actually a nice little hiking trail that goes out to it that's off this road. And we are on the very tail end of this loop now. We're going to come down Paradise Lake Road, and it's going to link up again with the Woodinville-Duval Highway, and then we'll be done. So as you'll see, there are a lot of rural residences out here, a lot of houses. Most of these houses were put in probably in the 80s or 90s, most of them. You know, there's exceptions. It's a pretty vibrant, active community out here, but it's not, you know, we're talking mostly people with some relatively large plots of land. You're talking most of these people own an acre or more. Some of them are on half acre. But, you know, relatively large plots of land. Some of them have significant area, like this guy on the right here obviously has a pretty big spread. I love what he's done with it, too. He's got all these little yard ornaments that totally litter this thing. I don't know what that's about. I don't wonder if that's like a bed and breakfast or something, or it's either that or he just likes to collect odd things in his yard. I don't know what the deal is. Someday maybe I'll bother to try and figure it out. There are a few little bed and breakfasts, I can't speak now. There are a few little bed and breakfasts tucked away back in here. Like this guy's got cutouts of bears and the Loch Ness Monster in his yard. I'm sure that's a storm drain where that little Loch Ness Monster thing is a storm pond. A lot of these places have storm ponds that are used to collect the storm runoff so that it doesn't flood out the neighboring houses. In fact, it's a pretty normal thing here. Whenever anybody puts in a bunch of houses here, they always have to put in a storm pond to deal with the sudden runoff that we can get from our sudden and frequent rainstorms here. You know, like I said before, we are in the middle of a temperate rainforest, so we do get very frequent rain here. So there's the trailhead to, right there, that's the trailhead to Paradise Lake. So you go park there and take a nice hike back in there and go hike around the lake. Kind of nice. Now, one thing I will warn you about is there are a lot of houses around here. You know, sometimes it's hard to see them. They're not always as obvious as that one there on our left, but there are quite a few houses back up here in the hills, and it's not uncommon to drive by a blind road or a blind highway, like there is a road right here on the other side of this Dodge, right there. That's somebody's driveway, you know, and so this is not the place to come out and just go whipping through as fast as you can. It is not safe to just go flying through this area because you never know when someone's going to come out and cut you off or pop out of one of these little side streets. So, you know, there's a ton of houses up in that hill off to our right. You can't see them because of all the trees, but they're there. So while it looks like we're in the middle of nowhere, we're actually far from it. This is actually a reasonably heavily populated area. So if you decide to ride through here, ride this loop, please respect that and drive like it's a populated area, because it is. Seems remote, but it really isn't. Weatherman says we're going to have rain tomorrow, and in fact, we might have some rain tonight, and these clouds are rolling in. We got some dark ones up there, so wouldn't surprise me if he's right. Later this evening, we will probably have some rain. Kind of makes me sad because my summer's almost over. But, you know, like I said before, winters here are mild enough. It's not a big deal, but I do like having the longer days. All right, we are nearly done with our ride. Up here in just a short ways is Woodinville Duval Road, and this is where our ride ends. So guys, if you have any comments, leave them below. If you have suggestions of places for me to ride, then please let me know. I'm always on the lookout for some really cool place to ride and somewhere I've never been before. And I guess that's about all I got to say. So thanks for watching, and if you want to be alerted when I post another video, please subscribe, and that way you'll get an alert whenever I post another video. And I will talk to you all later, guys. Ride safe.